Welcome back to the SPF Weekly Recap for the remainder of the 2023 fall season. As you might notice, this video was pretty seriously delayed. Unfortunately, following the recap for week 1 of the bracket, I ran into a perfect storm of issues. I was sick of traveling for most of November, and when I finally had time to get back to the weekly recap, the Showdown devs announced that they had inadvertently deleted the replay database for all non-ladder matches. Unfortunately, this means all of our replays were lost permanently. This has been a massive setback for Draft League content, but luckily we have stats recorded for every battle except the finals. I also have some footage of my battles that I recorded prior to the replays being deleted. Using these clues, alongside a visual aid and a reenactment of the finals, this video will attempt to reconstruct the remainder of the season, starting in the first round of the lower bracket. Without further ado, let's dive in. Following a loss to the undefeated Moran Prairie Go-Goats in week 1, the Dallas Dunsparce looked to turn their fortunes around against Brand's Helping Hands Foundation. Unfortunately for them, Colosseum had other plans, finally getting its chance to shine thanks to Trick Room support from Cresselia, and picking up 5 KOs on the way to a decisive 2-0 victory. The Ducklet defenders looked to reclaim their honor against the Omanites of the Round Table in the second lower bracket match, and things looked one-sided in Game 1, with Tornadus exercising its strength over Talonflame in the Tailwind War, allowing Urshifu and Donphan to clean up the game. However, things swung back in Game 2 as a more aggressive lead allowed Azelf to tear through the defenders with powerful attacks, while a lowland Persian finished them off with Icy Wind and Foul Play. Despite a twinkle of hope for the underdogs, Coach Flaccid Panda slammed the door shut in Game 3, once again relying on Tornadus' superiority and this time pairing it with Basculegion to swiftly end the match in a 4-0 victory. In a rematch of Week 5 of the regular season, the South Hill Skinwalkers took on Rat Pizza Casino for a second time and relied on electric types once again, spreading paralysis with Discharge and terrestrializing Annihilate to avoid being paralyzed itself, picking up 6 knockouts with the Ape over 2 quick wins. Finally, in another regular season rematch, the Hellsprouts sought revenge against the Vancouver Villains, this time for their Week 1 loss. In what turned out to be a deft maneuver, the Hellsprouts left Amoonguss at home, taking advantage of an over-preparation for Spore and Rage Powder with Tauros Blaze and Hisuian Samurott, and riding Terra Rock Rockslide to a vengeful 2-0 victory. With the first round of the lower bracket complete, we move back to the upper bracket semifinals, starting with a rematch of last season's finals between the Moran Prairie Go-Goats and the Rose City Roseraids. Game 1 started out with a trade of Rain Dance for Tailwind, but the critical moment came on turn 4, when both Azumarill and Gyarados revealed electric Terra types, and Gyarados fired off Thunder, exposing that it was trained as a special attacker. A critical hit from Dragonite's Extreme Speed would prove too difficult to recover from, as Game 1 went to the Go-Goats. In Game 2, Helping Hand's Extreme Speed kept Moltres down, but Metacham's Drain Punch allowed it to trade for Weavile's life. On turn 2, Terra Ghost allowed it to keep its Focus Sash intact long enough to survive Eruption, but a missed call on which screen to set up meant Klefki went down immediately, and Dragonite survived a Drain Punch on just 4% HP. Metacham's Protect meant Gyarados could finally finish off Dragonite, who now faced down Glaceon's Freeze Dry while Typhlosion still loomed large. But a lucky double Protect from Metacham allowed Gyarados to take out Typhlosion in exchange for its own life, dropping a much-needed lifeline to the Roseraids in what may have been the closest battle of the season. Game 3 saw Klefki, Moltres, Weavile, and Dragonite face off once again, and this time, Coach Double Rockslide took swift action against screen support with a double up of Brick Break and Stomping Tantrum, permanently dealing with Klefki. But with the full 3 turns of Tailwind to play with, Metacham and Moltres rampage with Psycho Cut and Hurricane, topping it off with yet another Terra Ghost to avoid Extreme Speed. Weavile and Typhlosion couldn't do enough to stop Moltres' second Tailwind, and with the wind at its back, Gyarados picked up a triple KO with Surf, pushing the Roseraids to the upper bracket finals for the second season in a row. The other match of the semifinals took place between the BC Beyond and Tornadus' Team Preview Truthrus, as both players looked to improve on their performances from last season. With the help of Pelipper's Rain, Basculegion rampaged in Game 1, backed up by Terra Steel Robska, shooting the Beyond out to an early lead. But the Truthers battled back in Game 2 behind Terra Water Iron Thorns, clearing out Pelipper and Basculegion before Dondozo finally combined with Tatsugiri to take the game. In Game 3, the counter-tech materialized, as Qianpao neutered Dondozo with Haze, outspeeding even its +2 boost, bringing the match to a close victory for the Beyond. Returning to the lower bracket, Brand's Helping Hands Foundation and the Ducklet defenders both attempted to extend their lower bracket run after a first-round victory. In Game 1, Titan's Terra Dragon shored up its Fire and Steel weaknesses, but it would eventually fall to Dark-type Urshifu in a close battle. Iron Hands would fall to the combination of Tinkaton and Espeon in Game 2, and with the best check to Wicked Blow removed, Urshifu carried the defenders to a victory and another chance in the next round. The other match of this round featured the reinvigorated Hellsprouts coming off of a win, facing down a rebounding South Hill Skinwalkers. Game 1 was Deja Vu, as the Terra Electric multi-discharge strategy made another appearance, spreading paralysis and sending Corviknight and Samurott to an early grave, despite an effective counterattack from Tauros. Corviknight hit the bench for the Hellsprouts in Game 2 in favor of Rotom Fan, and ground terrestrialization from Tauros slowed down the Electric-type offense enough to allow a speedy Samurott to clean up, bringing us to a third game. This time, the Skinwalkers threw a curveball, as Terra Water Kleavor, backed up by Sableye, proved to be too much for them to overcome, and Tauros was forced to pick up a friendly KO with Earthquake on Samurott, dashing the Hellsprouts' hopes and forging a path for the Skinwalkers to move on. Week 11 was the fourth round of playoffs and featured only the lower bracket quarterfinals, as a reeling Moran Prairie Go-Goats took on the South Hill Skinwalkers. Seeking revenge for their loss in the final week of the regular season, the Skinwalkers came prepared to do battle, as Terra Grass Hisuian Arcanine rampaged to 3 knockouts in Game 1. The Go-Goats turned to the icy duo of Weavile and Glaceon in Game 2, but Kleavor and Annihilape's natural type advantages were too much to overcome, as the Skinwalkers settled the score and moved on to the lower bracket semifinals. On the other side of the bracket, the Ducklet Defenders took on Tornadus' Team Preview Truthers in another high-stakes elimination match. Despite Terra Fairy from Farigiraf, Urshifu and Fungus were able to soften up the opposition enough to allow Basculegion to close out Game 1 with 3 knockouts, targeting the enemy's water weakness. In Game 2, Terra Flying Iron Thorns jumped the Truthers out to an early lead, and Volcarona converted with 3 knockouts in return, tying the match at 1 win apiece. In Game 3, the Commander combo finally made an appearance, but the defenders were able to use the power of guaranteed critical hits from Urshifu alongside Terragrass Basculegion to fight off the menace. However, the advantage would prove to be too great, as Tatsugiri pulled its weight after Dondozo fell with 2 knockouts, eliminating the defenders and propelling the Truthers to the final round. Back in the upper bracket, the BC Beyond took on the Rose City Roseraids in a win-and-in for the finals. With the finals on the line, Coach BMM prepared a brilliant strategy. Jumpluff, when under the effects of Klefki's Sunny Day, will always be fast enough to move next, resetting Rain Dance and taking full advantage of the rain, defending from incoming fire attacks and boosting their own water moves. The plan went off flawlessly in Game 1, resulting in forgettable damage from Salazzle and Klefki going down immediately. Jumpluff was locked in with Salazzle's Encore next turn, allowing Gyarados to Dragon Dance with impunity. Or so it seemed, as Pelipper's perfectly accurate Hurricane not only brought Gyarados to the danger zone, but also confused it, making the next turn extremely risky for the Roseraids. Risking it all on a coin flip, Gyarados terrestrialized to flying, no doubt aiming a Terra Blast at Pelipper, but couldn't break through confusion, resulting in a devastating loss of resources for the Roseraids. Salazzle's Focus Sash allowed it to bring Basculegion low with foul play, but the lack of defensive terrestrialization meant Tinglu had no chance to fire back, falling to Basculegion's boosted liquidation in one hit, and sealing Game 1 for the Beyond. Game 2 began with slightly altered leads, as Electros and Robska replaced Salazzle and Jumpluff. An immediate Terra Ground on turn 1 from Pelipper was met with a setup turn of Sunny Day and Coil from the Roseraids, which looked all the more dangerous when Trick Room went up the same turn. Clodsire and Tinglu both hit the field on turn 2 as the other combatants traded damage, and First Blood was drawn on turn 3 when Electros revealed Zen Headbutt, eliminating Clodsire. Rabsca then immediately revived it before being taken out by Wild Charge as Pelipper flinched beside it. With Rain going strong and one turn of Trick Room left, Basculegion attempted to eliminate Electros with boosted Aqua Jet, but a timely Intimidate from Gyarados let it survive, trading back with Wild Charge before the Ghost Fish could get out of hand. With the Twisted Dimensions back to normal, Pelipper's earlier Ground Terra came back to bite it, as Gyarados finished it off with Waterfall and teamed up with Tinglu to finish Clodsire, tying the match. Both players switched it up in Game 3 again, this time with Leafeon facing down Basculegion and Qianpao. Reading into a Gyarados switch, Qianpao launched a Terra Electric Terra Blast onto Klefki, only to be met with Prankster Reflect. However, the appearance of Jumpluff would dissuade any attempt at setting Sun. Leafeon's Terra Steel would keep it safe from Ice Spinner, and the combination of Bullet Seed and Dazzling Gleam was enough to take down Qianpao on turn 2. Pelipper's appearance on turn 3 suggested another weather battle like Game 1, but instead, Jumpluff's Rain Dance failed, as Leafeon dealt big damage to Pelipper, falling to Hydro Pump thanks to its new lack of resistance, while Klefki initiated Trick Room just in time for the incoming Tinglu. Sidestepping Wide Guard, Tinglu took out Pelipper with Throat Chop, while Jumpluff infected it with Leech Seed. Between Reflect and Sun, Basculegion's Aqua Jet was easily deflected as it fell to 2 Throat Chops. Now at a 3-1 advantage, the reigning champs looked poised to make their second finals in a row, but Jumpluff had other plans. What followed was an excruciatingly long endgame, where Leech Seed, Strength Sap, and max defense thanks to Cotton Guard left the bulky, supportive squad of the Roseraids without a way to break through. A few critical hits and flinches from Rockslide gave a glimmer of hope, but Jumpluff dug deep and clutched out the win for the Beyond, sending them to the finals to await the victor of the lower bracket gauntlet. With an opponent waiting for them in the lower bracket finals, the South Hill Skinwalkers and Tornadus' Team Preview Truthers clashed for the first time this season in a heavyweight bout. In Game 1, fast offensive Resurection took charge, taking 3 knockouts and teaming up with Clough's X-Scissor to cut down the Skinwalker squad. The brutal truth of terrestrialization came down on the Skinwalkers with full force in Game 2, as Terra Ground Volcarona made light work of Hisuian Arcanine with Ground-type Terra Blast, and without another check on the team, cleaned up all 4 knockouts, rocketing the Truthers to the lower bracket finals with a glint in their eye and something to prove. In the lower bracket finals, the Rose City Roseraids moved to stop the meteoric rise of the Team Preview Truthers, but things got off to a rocky start in Game 1, as Terra Normal Choice Specs for Resurection outsped Metacham thanks to Tailwind and took an easy KO with Hyper Voice. However, the appearance of Wide Guard Mariani looked to be just what was needed to turn the game around, and Gyarados got one back with Waterfall on Volcarona. With Resurection locked into a move that could be freely negated indefinitely with Wide Guard, the Roseraids took a risk on turn 3, opting for a preeminent Haze in the hope of catching Tatsugiri on the switch and neutering Dondozo. However, it turned out to be too ambitious, as both opponents stayed in and attacked, swinging the momentum directly back to the Truthers. Wide Guard would protect the now Poison-type Tinglu from Earthquake on the following turn, but a rare Ruination miss all but sealed the game as Dondozo successfully combined with Tatsugiri. After Dragon Dancing to outspeed, Gyarados had a chance to make things interesting when a critical hit brought Dondozo to 1 HP, but no Waterfall flinches combined with a miss on Outrage meant the Truthers would jump out to a 1-0 lead. In Game 2, Wide Guard once again proved to be extremely high value, as Gyarados with a Dragon Dance was able to take out Volcarona while staying completely safe from the combination of Muddy Water and Heat Wave. With Tauros replacing Dondozo and no commander combo available, Tinglu was able to effortlessly tank its way to victory, tying the series at 1 win apiece. In Game 3, Mariani was finally the target of the Truthers' attack, miraculously surviving Twin Beam and Boosted Body Press, a combination meant to catch an incoming Tinglu, and badly poisoning Resurection in exchange. Leafeon came in to relieve it as Tinglu's Stomping Tantrum was avoided thanks to Terra Flying from Iron Thorns, and after a few turns of stalling with Protect, Resurection was finally low enough to be taken out by Leafeon's Leaf Blade. Behind on HP and facing down 2 massive defensive threats, the Roseraids were forced to once again make a risky call, protecting Gyarados and pointing Leech Seed at Dondozo. However, a timely Protect kept it safe as Iron Thorns finished off Leafeon, swinging the momentum massively in favor of the Truthers. Unfazed by any offense the Roseraids could muster, Iron Thorns and Dondozo fired off Body Press and Earthquake with impunity, wearing down the opposition and shrugging off boosted outrages on the way to closing out Game 3 and completing the long road to the finals. After 13 hard weeks of competition, we were finally down to 2 competitors. Tornadus' Team Preview Truthers, hot off of 3 wins in a row, sought revenge on the BC Beyond, fresh off of a rest week and sitting undefeated in playoffs. Resurection started off Game 1 with Sunny Day, stranding Pelipper without rain for its Life Orb boosted Hurricanes. Volcarona fired Sun boosted Heat Wave on turn 2, but failed to pick up a knockout thanks to Qianpao's Focus Sash, and despite its water terrestrialization, fell to a double target thanks to Resurection's ally switch. Tauros' appearance confirmed no commander combo, and Iron Thorns' booster defense kept it safe as Tauros cleaned up a double knockout. With Terra Grass, Basculegion easily shrugged off double Wild Charge, and teamed up with Clodsire to take down Iron Thorns and Tauros, leaving only Resurection and Clodsire as the final 2 fighters. With Recover out-healing psychic damage, it looked like there was a chance for Clodsire to battle back, but a timely special defense drop would change the calculus in the Truthers' favor and seal the deal in Game 1. The Beyond took a different tactic in Game 2, switching Pelipper in on turn 1 to discourage an immediate Sunny Day, but Iron Thorns' Terra Flying left it surprisingly healthy even after an Adaptability plus Rain boosted Liquidation, while Basculegion barely survived a double target thanks to its Assault Vest. Ally Switch once again put one Pokemon out of danger, but this time Resurection took the brunt of the assault and went down early, but its sacrifice allowed Iron Thorns to clean up Basculegion and cripple Pelipper significantly with Rock Slide. The threat of Commander loomed as Dondozo hit the field, but Clodsire with Water Absorb was ready to check it, equipped with Toxic and Haze to handle the Leviathan and Terra Grass to stay safe from any ground-type offense. However, only one person could have predicted what would happen next. Seizing his destiny, Coach Valdens ordered a Fissure onto Clodsire, connecting on the first turn as if it were ordained by fate itself, and dashing the hopes of the Beyond against the rocks like a tidal wave, splintering any chances of a comeback in Game 2. With Tatsugiri's boost and nothing left to fear, Dondozo picked up the remaining KOs with Wave Crash and put an exclamation mark on an impressive season win from the Truthers, finally becoming our 2023 Fall Season Champions. Thanks for watching the end of season wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed a walk through memory lane despite the challenge of losing all of our replays, and be sure to stick around for more exciting Draft League content and maybe a little something more coming soon in 2024.